Welcome in to the third of our previews for the USL PRO Playoffs quarterfinals, where myself and my friend David Wagner here will be looking ahead to the game between Orlando City and the Pittsburgh Riverhounds. This is scheduled for 7:30 p.m. at the Florida Citrus Bowl on Saturday night, and David, this could be a very tight, very tense matchup if the regular season meetings are anything to go by.
Yeah, it's going to be a fantastic affair. Obviously, two great games already played between these two teams this season. Pittsburgh has that little feather in the cap that they haven't been scored on by Orlando this year. So that's not something that too many teams can say. So they've come in, they've played fantastic games against Orlando, who's always one of the class teams in the league. Just a great season for both of them, but it should be quite an affair.
Pittsburgh and the Richmond Kickers, the number one seed overall, the only teams to shut out Orlando in both of their meetings this season. And I mean, especially with coming down to the Citrus Bowl in their last meeting, taking a 1-0 victory, there might be a little bit of an extra chip on the shoulder of Orlando's players as a result of that, right?
Agreed. I don't think Orlando's going to forget the two facts that they haven't scored on Pittsburgh this year. So they're going to be coming out with a purpose. I know that Adrian Heath will have his guys ready for this one.
Now, as far as the guy that should be playing with a purpose in Saturday's game, I think Dennis Chin is the one that most Orlando fans are looking to come step up and fill that goal-scoring void. 5 goals this season, down from 11 last season, but we know he's got speed. We know he has finishing ability. That's going to be the guy. Is that the guy that Pittsburgh's going to have to focus on and shut down if they're going to have a chance to advance?
I think so. I think that what you saw this year with Orlando is after Dom Dwyer left is who's going to step up. Obviously, there's been some good moments for both Chin and Longtan this year, but I think those two guys up top are going to be it for me. Obviously, there's an unknown factor whether one of the Kansas City players might come back on loan for the playoffs for Orlando. So that's something to keep in the back of your mind. But, barring that happen, you got to keep a lookout for Chin up top. Obviously, he has speed, he has pace, and we know he can finish, but it's about getting it done.
As far as the other side of the field, I think the guy that everyone's looking to for Pittsburgh is probably Matt Dolman.
Yep.
Set a USL Pro record this season with 12 assists. A third of Pittsburgh's goals were assisted on by Matt Dolman, and he's really provided the ammunition for Jose Angulo to have the great season that he did, but also some of the other guys like Johnny Arteaga, and especially recently Darren Amu, who's he might be a key factor in this game as well, being able to use his speed on the counter-attack.
Yeah, Pittsburgh's been hot at the right time, coming off a fantastic road trip to Florida. They're coming into the playoffs on a high. Obviously, they'll be motivated. I think they've had a lot to show and a lot to prove this season. Fantastic year with a new stadium. So all these guys have been stepping up. The beginning of the year was a little inconsistent from a defensive standpoint, but throughout the year they have scored goals. So I don't think that's going to leave them in this playoff game. I think the ability to score will still be there. But can we see this defensive trend that's been very solid for them continue?
What's the key factor, and what's going to be the deciding factor in Saturday's game, in your opinion?
I think it's going to be just what I thought it said. I think it's going to be Pittsburgh's defense. Obviously, they stepped up and they played very well in the first two games. I have no doubt that Orlando's going to come out and play their game from an offensive and defensive standpoint. Obviously, Pittsburgh was able to break them down at home last time, but it's going to be, can Pittsburgh continue this defensive run that they've been on and hold themselves together?
Certainly should be a big game this Saturday night at the Florida Citrus Bowl. You can join us for all the action on USL Nation at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time. We hope you enjoy it, and we hope you enjoy all of the action for the USL Pro Playoffs this weekend.